What's going on, guys? Welcome back to This is Nino TV. And today I got a special guest, motivational speaker, all the way from Queens, New York, now in Florida, author of a book, obviously, because, author. Um, but I wanted to bring him on today. We've been talking about it for a very long time. We've been chopping it up. I met this man in my chair. Now, one of the things that I've always told my guys or the barbers in the industry, you never know who you're going to meet. You just don't know what you don't know, right? So we brought this special guest to you. He's traveled around the world, traveled around the nation, spoke to thousands of people, and he wanted to bring it onto the channel today and be able to give you guys a good conversation and some knowledge, some of his insight on how he became the person that he became, how he's able to restore his marriage. A lot of key points that comes with life. Now, for the barbers that are watching, that is like, how does this relate to me? Why do I want to hear this? Listen, barbers, we speak to people on a daily basis. You might get some good knowledge from this person that you're able to use to save somebody else's life or bring value to somebody else's life. So open up your ears, listen up, be open-minded, and listen to what he has to say. All right. Like I said, motivational speaker, life coach, husband, father, from Queens, New York to Florida.
Yeah.
Let's give it up to my boy, Lemar Wilson.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. I love it. I love
Welcome
the intro.
aboard, Lemar. Welcome aboard.
I love the intro, man. It's as you were talking, it started just like really hitting me. It was like, man, like I really came a long way. I really came a long way with just coming from Queens, New York, Storia, in the project. You know, um, single parent household. My mom, three brothers, three sisters. You know, one paycheck, and that I always say this. I wasn't born. I was born in the '80s, but I wasn't raised in the '80s. I was raised in the '90s because I was young when the drug era came about, and my brothers were older, so they knew where the how to get the fast money. So as a kid, I grew up saying to myself, well, I'm watching these things. I'm watching the drug dealers have the fast cars and the girls and the clothes and as a kid, you just looking like, man, I want to be like that. I want that. And you have that poverty mindset of because that's where you're surrounded. 28 buildings in the projects, you see that and like that's all I know. I know that. I don't know what's outside the projects. I know what's inside this projects because what they've given us, as I look now, they're giving us a supermarket, Chinese restaurant, and a dollar store. Why do I need to leave? And so, as you were introducing me, it really brought back some of the things that I was like, really, I really came far because a lot of people, a lot of my friends, they're still there. A lot of my friends left and came back, or they left and they never like I don't want nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up in that household, growing up in that neighborhood, you have to fight. You have to fight to really like. What do you want? What is it that you want out of life? You want to live outside the projects. You want to live um and you want to have a lifestyle that's different than the norm because that's the norm. Why would I leave the projects? I don't have to pay for electricity. I don't have to pay for water. Why am I leaving? I don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. You silly if you leave. Why would you want to go do that? But you don't understand that it's a box. They are boxing us in here. Our goal is not to stay here. Our goal is to leave and create better lives. And now I see what they're doing now, which is great. They're building around it. But back in the '90s, and when I'm outside, I'm outside when this is happening. I'm able to see this stuff, and I'm thinking this is what it is. But then they don't tell you, you keep hanging around people that's doing wrong things. What happens to you? you start doing bad things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what shifted, and I'm like, this ain't what I thought it was. This ain't. I want something different. I want to be able to. I want to be able to go out and feel comfortable. I want to meet new people. I want to learn new things. I don't want it to be you dress the same way as that person, so we think you did it. And that's where it's like when you 12, 13, and cops pull you to the side because, well, you fit the description. Like, hold up.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't. You didn't want no profiling.
Right.
You know, and that's the time that we live. You know
Right.
what I mean?
And to me, it was normal for me to not have my father. Straight up, it was normal. I was like, well, this person don't got his father. Like that's just the normal. If
So
someone
was Dad around? Did he pass away?
no. So he passed away, but he was never in my life. I Here's the crazy thing. My building was literally 2 buildings from him. I see him every day. But my dad chose drugs over his kids. We're in a good space.
Sadly, I think a lot of people lived in back in the 90s. I think it was a big thing until today. I think it's a very big thing. I know a lot of people in common that, you know, obviously parents get caught up in that situation. They don't know, you know. I wouldn't say they wouldn't know any better. I think it's where we were raised, the areas that we were raised, what we were around, like we were constantly around that. And I can say that
Right.
for a fact. You know, I know you lived in New York. I was born here in Florida, but me, Puerto Rico, Connecticut. You know, I was always exposed to that type of lifestyle. And it's not our parents' fault, right?
And
It's not their parents' fault.
And
It's
that's why I
just a
forgive
matter of I think where we were set at that moment. You know, economy had to do a lot. You know, not world economy, but economy at home. What were our parents able to afford?
Right.
Especially like people like, you know, us. You know, African American. I don't know what you're Jamaican, right?
No.
African American.
Puerto Rican and black.
All right, Puerto Rican and black. So Puerto Ricans, you know, Hispanics in general. I'm saying majority of us, we had to grow up in the projects because that's all our family was able to afford.
Yeah.
You know, and or living off the system, which is what normally. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not for you know, for those that are watching. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
But ideally, is what are we constantly exposed to? So when our parents fall in that situation, like, can we really blame them? You know, they're exposed to it just as much as we are. Especially when they're a little older, they have more choices that they're able to do because you get to a certain age, right, where you don't care what people think about you.
Right.
Maybe that was a fact. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to I'm not trying to justify anything or take anything away, but just to explain to people that you're not trying to. I don't think you're trying to talk bad about it, right? Because we want the listeners to really understand that this is your story. This is.
It was more pain. It was more pain as a kid growing up without his dad, wanting his dad. When you know, I remember I tell the story all the time. I wanted ice cream from the ice cream truck, and I'm always going to my mom, but turn around, it's like my dad's right here. Let me go to him. But you go to your dad, and he's so high. He has a needle in his arm. He don't know who I am. At 10 years old, that you can't just be like, I'm gonna just brush it off. And you're like, Dad, it's Lemar, it's Lemar, it's Lemar. And it's like, and he don't know, he's literally in the moon. And so I run home, I'm crying. My mom's like, what happened? And you're crying so much you can't speak. And someone else comes upstairs and say, hey, listen, you know, Bobby's downstairs. He you know, and it's like, and my mom comes and talks to me. I was like, oh, I was trying to get $1 to go get ice cream. My brother goes to the store comes back with this big jug of ice cream. But at that, I just wanted my dad. I wanted to be able to, you know, talk to him. I have small images. I don't have pictures with my dad. I don't have moments with my dad. The moment I have with my dad is me sitting on the toilet seat, covered. I wasn't using the bathroom. And he's shaving, and I can still to this day smell the eczema on his face, you know? And so that's why it's so important for me as a father to be in my kid's life, you know? Even when my wife and I were separated for 3 years, I made it my mission to be a father. Because at 10, 13 years old, those words shouldn't come out my mouth. When I become a father,
Now,
never
now,
gonna do that.
let's keep it clear, right? Being a father is not just having a kid,
Right.
right? Your dad was around, your dad was there, but was he really present? No, and I think that's where you're reflecting more
Right.
on the type of person you wanted to become. I think I got a similar story to that part. I know we're here for you, right? But just to make it a little bit of engagement, I think I was in that situation too till today. My father, I've always known my father. I love my father to death, but same thing, wasn't always present. So I think, what do you think that happens when certain people like us grow up without, I don't know if you guys can hear my dogs, right? But we're getting it going. uh, but I love it because that way everybody knows the transparency. We're doing this in the
exactly.
You know what I mean? But I got a little bit off track. They got me a little bit. But like I said, I don't know if it's a lot of us that go through those certain situations to where we value family a little bit more.
Yeah.
I can't say that it's true because I can't talk for everybody. What do you think that brings that to you, that you wanted to be present for your kids?
I think because I wanted to be able to know that feeling, what it's like to take your kid to the zoo, to the park, to go get ice cream, McDonald's, like value those little things because you see it with your friends where it's like, oh, Ma, can I buy the new sneakers? And it's like, no, we'll see, right? Versus your other friend could go see one parent say no, go to the other parent. That parent might say yes,
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, I value family and I value my sons so much. And I think that's what God blessed me with because I was a fatherless child. He was like, I'm gonna make you a father, but not right now. I'm not gonna make you a father at 16, 17. I'm gonna make you a father at 28.
That's when you had your first one, age of 28. How old is he now?
He's 13.
13.
13.
Yeah.
And
now you're gonna have the viewers counting and see Lamar's this age.
So to me, because as much stuff that I have been through before leading up to being a husband, a father, I was making mistakes because I was doing things without God.
Oof, powerful.
I was doing things without God, and God. And the reason why where I'm at now in my life is because God's like, you're gonna have to let me in. You're not mature enough to do this by yourself. Every time you do something on your own, I have to pull you out of it. And I had to realize that the hard way, losing my kids for 3 years, losing my wife for 3 years, losing my uncle.
So they weren't present at the moment of those 3 years?
I was a weekend dad.
Ooh.
I was a weekend dad. I was seeing my kids on the weekend. I was paying child support, and I was a weekend dad because I was going against everything God was trying to tell me. God was giving me the signs. I met my wife in 2008, got married in 2009, had Aiden in 2010. 2012, had my second child. My wife and I separated. And but that time of separation, God's like, you gonna let me in? I'm good. God, you crazy? All this stuff is happening to me. I'm getting married. Social media just came out. I got everything. God, I'm good. I got this. God's like, you gonna let me in? Nope. And I thought I got it, but everything was falling apart. God was like, see, I gotta break you. I gotta break you. And it's not because I want to, because I gotta redesign you. That's where the problem is. You think you got this, you don't got this. And I'm gonna show you when I do it, it's way better than when you do it. And when he got my wife, when he brought me, let me change that. When he brought my family back, I didn't go to he brought my family back. That's when I accepted. I said, God, I can't do this. I can't. I suck at this. I ain't sweet as I thought I was because I was too busy starting on social media. Remember, Facebook used to say, oh, you had to be in college to get Facebook.
Yes, that was for college attendees. A lot of youngins don't want to understand that. So you're talking about MySpace time. For those that don't know what MySpace is, it was a different type of form of Facebook but just a lot more where you were able to show off a lot more than what you are.
Exactly.
So it was like hybrid. It was like Facebook with Instagram at the same
Yep.
time.
And
It-
and when God when I was doing it and God was like, I gotta leave. I gotta rip them apart from you to see how much you value. And the thing is, people always ask me, yo, how did you get your family back? 'Cause I have faith. I had 1% faith. Even though I thought I could do it on my own, I got this. You know, like she don't want to be with me. Pfft, I got my kids on the weekend. The weekend I'm to myself. I was like, you don't get it. Son, you don't get it. This is not a game. You have to you understand that your marriage is not your marriage. Your marriage is everybody that's living in the story of projects that where you come from, they're looking at you, but you
Mhm.
don't get it. You silly.
It's a privilege, right? And it's something that you work on. It's something that doesn't work on its own. I think I see it a lot too, and I always talk about it to the point to where I say, uh, a lot of people don't. A lot of people think me working in a barbershop. I hear from a lot of guys, oh, I got with this girl, I got with this girl, I left her, now I'm with this girl. Like it's cool and everything. For me growing up as a youngin', it was always a flex to wow, who had the
Yep.
most girls.
Yep.
Right. But it gets to a point to where you really mature and you get to a certain age and you're like, what really matters? What's really a flex?
Yep.
There's some people that are longer at their job or longer at their career than what they are in a relationship.
Yeah.
What's really a flex?
Yeah.
What's a real flex? Are you really present in your kid's life?
That's a
You know what
flex.
I mean?
That's
That's
a
a
flex.
flex. Are
Being
you
healthy.
are you
That's a
trying to be
flex.
a good husband? I'm not saying that every man should be perfect or in any other way, but what's really a flex? I heard from a good friend of mine too. Who are you doing business with? Who do you want to do business with? With a person that's faithful to his wife, or the person, or a person that's always with different type of women? I heard that. I heard that from like I said, a friend of mine where he says, I don't do business with people that can't even be faithful to their significant other.
Yep.
I'm not saying that that's a fact. Don't guys, don't take me wrong. We're just talking. We're generalizing stuff that
Yeah.
sometimes people
It's a
don't think
preference.
about.
It's a
It's a
preference.
preference. I'm not saying that you have to be that in order for you to be successful, you got to have a marriage of 20 years. That's not completely true.
Right.
But the ones that are having it should flex on it. The ones that are not having it, they get to a point to where they desire, man, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I came across a couple people where they were like, yo, if I had a chance to not get divorced, I would have got it. And I was like, why? I'm
So
like,
you did go through the
no,
divorce.
no. So we signed the papers. We signed the papers. We got to the courthouse. Um, and the judge was like, she said, come up. And she wanted to have a conversation. She said, do you want to divorce Mr. Wilson? She said, yes. She's like, do you want to divorce Mrs. Wilson? I was like, no. And the judge, this is where God starts to play when he's like, all right, let me show you how powerful I am. I'm not gonna sign these papers because I don't believe you. I believe that you're hurt. I believe that you demand respect from him. And I believe that you need to man up. You're a boy in a man body,
Hmm.
right? I'm gonna give you 1 year to get your to go through marriage counseling. And then if y'all still come back with the same attitude, that's when I'm gonna divorce you. Right? 6, 8 months later, I get into a car accident. I go to Pennsylvania because my uncle passed away, and I just needed to get away. I was just everything was falling apart. My job, marriage, kids, everything was just falling apart. God's like, Do you understand how much I gotta keep taking from under you for you to get it? All right, let me do you one better, Uncle Robert. I'm gonna take it because that's the only male figure in your life. Let me take him from you. Okay. So my brother-in-law went to PA. He said, I don't know why I'm here, but God told me that you need to let something go. And I was like, I don't know what it is. Social media. Not just deactivate it, delete it. Let me tell you, I fully deleted social media. My brother grabbed my hand, got on the floor, we prayed. Fully pray. I never prayed like this in my life. The day after, I get a call from him. I want to move to Florida. Well, how this gonna work with me? Am I going to get them in the summer? Well, I was thinking you and I could do this together. We work on our work on us. That was 8 years ago. God blessed us with another kid, properties, because God was like, you do it with me, you align yourself with me, things fall together.
Mm.
You can't do this by yourself. You suck. You suck. Like,
Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy that you're telling me that because I was listening to another podcast which you're very familiar with. I want to talk to you into basis that in a few Secret to Success podcast. You know, boy CJ
yep,
and Eric
PT, yep,
Thomas,
yep.
where they were talking, where Eric Thomas was actually talking about on how sometimes we celebrate like when like in our culture. Oh, Barack Obama became the president. Oh, we were celebrating. People were crying because they couldn't believe it. You know, they talked about, you know, when certain people, when the Martin Luther King Day, everybody was, you know, started crying because they believed in something. They believed they believe in somebody and they followed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But what was wrong with all of this that everybody believed in?
Yeah.
They believed in the man. They believed in the person that was able to change situations for them.
Yeah.
Like right now, we believe in the president that we have to be able to change the economy and change everything like that. But one thing that impacted me about what he said was everybody believes in those people that are in control of that moment. But each and every one of those people has had to leave where they're at. So what are we saying? Martin Luther King had a dream. Everybody follow him. He was gone. What happened? You know,
Yeah.
Barack Obama had his 8 years of presidential. We're not talking about politics or anything, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like sometimes we put our faith on somebody else to put in our power to, but the only person that never leaves, the only person that's always there is God.
Yeah. Exactly.
And when I heard that from him, I said, you know what? That is so true. Some of us depend on certain situations to fix, like on other people to fix our situation. When the one person that really is always there, the only person that never changes, the only person that 8 years go by, he's still in control. Is him. He's still there.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that you tell me this, and I'm only saying this because I feel what you're saying. I feel like it's a confirmation from what I heard, and I said, you know what? It's you know it's true because in that moment you had that faith in that, and that's what restored your situation.
Exactly. 1%.
You didn't blame it on the economy. You didn't blame it on somebody else or something like that. You said this happened, and the only person that was able to fix it was God.
Exactly. And when I was able, well, now people are like, well, he got social media now. He deleted it. Like, well, I asked for permission. That's where the problem. This is where the missing element. Are you bringing your problems? Are you bringing your opportunities to God? You bring it to the flesh. We're married men. You bring it to your wife. But before, I love my wife, but I'm gonna be honest. I bring it to God first. God, is this what you want me to do? God told me something late last year, son. If an opportunity presented itself, I brought it to you. I was like, okay. He's like, you don't have to ask. I brought it to you. What you're doing in the world, I brought everything. You deserve everything I give you. And that's when I said, God, can I have social media? You can have social media, but we're gonna do it this time. We're gonna do it different. You're gonna inspire people. I don't know how to do that, God. Like I could talk positive. I think people should be good. God's like, no, 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 no. You have a gift. You can speak. You can connect with people. You get in a room. You make people feel good about themselves. You're gonna use that. You're not gonna do all that knucklehead stuff you were doing, trying to impress people. You're a married man. You need to showcase what marriage look like because someone wants to know what that is. Okay, you're a father. You need to start showcasing your parenting. Okay, but I want to showcase sneakers and stuff. And God's like, son, we ain't got time for that. You too old to be doing that. Leave that for the little knuckleheads. I'm gonna deal with them. And the ones that don't listen to me is because they listen to someone else. Come on. They already belong to somebody else. I can't save them. When they ready to come home, they'll come home. Son, I don't care how many times you mess up, I'm gonna pull you out because you're on a mission. Okay. And so that's what I've been doing. So my social media is based on inspiring. My mission is inspiring people because I didn't understand what God wanted me to do until God was like, I said, I don't know how this thing works. You will when your best friend calls you 3 o'clock in the morning, our time, California time is what 12 o'clock, 1.
Yeah, it's 3 hours back.
Yeah, and yo man, I just want to let you know I love you. Love you too, Miguel. What's up? I'm about to take my life. Why? Man, stop playing. It's your boy. You think he playing. But he's serious. Because when he come home from serving the country, he don't have his wife. I mean his girlfriend at the time. He don't have his kids. Doors are locked. Long text message. Won't pick up the phone. Cops get involved. I did all that just to come home and I don't have nothing to show for. So every day, God said, I need you to say something positive. So what I did, I didn't know where I was at in the speaking world. Copy and paste good positive messages on Google. Send it to him, and it led to um, those messages being led to his other Marine brothers and sisters because they were dealing with other stuff, and then it became a whole community of me morning text messages, and then I'm like, okay, God, and God's like, now start doing videos. I, I don't. You got the wrong man, God. Please, dude. I'm just getting my family back. I moved. Like, God, I don't got time to try to save somebody. God's saying, I'm not asking you. I think I'm asking you. I'm telling you. And every day, for about 6 months, I text Miguel. I'm leaving voicemails. I'm not getting replies back. I'm okay. God's like, keep replying. Keep leaving voicemail. So he says, yo, man, I appreciate everything you did. I know I don't reply back, but I got a new job. I got my own apartment. I'm doing good. Got a little girlfriend now. Cool.
What'd you tell him? If we can know.
Positive messages, just like, hey, what words of affirmation, positive. I just Google and whatever popped up, I just copy paste because I didn't know how to. I most thing I probably say, man, yo, you just gotta be positive about things. It could be worse. That was my thing. But when I had to actually go in, and that's how I met Eric Thomas and met other, and I'm like, yo, man, and I started doing my research. I started getting, I'm like, okay,
This is a real thing.
this is starting to work. Like, it's inspiring me. I'm just trying to save my best friend. But then now I got a whole community, and now God's like, start doing videos. I ain't in the best shape, and
So let me ask you something. You've always been. Are you like an extrovert, an introvert, or what? Would you consider yourself at the time, or what do you consider yourself now?
I would say I'm an extrovert. I would say I would definitely say.
So it was never a problem for you to express yourself, or so what? Why was the fear there? Why was
Because I didn't know the direction. I didn't. This was something brand new. I was more concerned of saying, "Hey, I got my wife actually wants to be around me." We're actually talking about removing child support off. Like I'm coming home to a family. That's my focus. I was like, "That's cool. I got that. Go save this." And I'm into so to me it was okay. And so while I'm thinking it's more important to save my family. God will say, no, it's more important to unlock your gift. It's more important for you want that. That's a want. I just gave you a need. What's more important, your want or your need? And that's when it changed. And so to me, that's when I made the shift. Was like, okay, my brother put the gun down. He no longer want to kill himself. The other, whatever his other Marine brothers and sisters dealing with, they in a good space, right? And so to me, I'm like, okay, God, I don't know. I just don't know it. So start doing videos. I did videos. I used to put the phone down so that they can't see my face. They could hear the audio because I was just shy. And God was like, let them show your face. They don't care about your face. They care about the content. And I just winged it. And I just kept winging it and winging it and winging it. And it just started connecting. And then it's like, what's going on, world? And people like, all of a sudden, people like, yo, man, I need that. Well, okay. I'm like, God, what are we doing here? I want you to inspire the world. I want you to inspire the world. not just your family. You too stuck on your family. I got your family, son. Inspire the world. We need more people like you. We don't need no more rappers. That's done. We don't need no more
especially
basketball.
especially where we come from. I think it was something brand new for us to hear that there was people as motivating and be able to move. The only people we knew were preachers.
That's
Like
it.
you had to go to church to get
that's
some
what I'm
some
telling you,
positive information, some positive words, and sometimes the Bible says it. God moves in between even the drunk people.
Yeah.
Whatever that, just because that person is drunk doesn't mean can't be a blessing to you or give you a word of blessing that you might take home and be like, wow, that was a confirmation that I needed to hear.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's
So for me, it was I never knew that existed.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a motivational speaker was until one time a buddy of mine came to visit me from New York, from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Joey, and he ended up saying, "Hey, put this guy on TV." I'm like, "What is this?" So he come up to my TV and ends up putting on Les Brown.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know who Les Brown was.
That's my guy. Right
I was super motivated when I heard his story, where he comes from. I'm like, is this a real thing? And he started, yeah. My friend started explaining to me, yeah, this is actually a real thing. Like motivational speaker, he was explaining to me, he gets paid $65,000 just to speak. I was like, really? Is that a thing? Like,
yeah.
I didn't believe that was an actual career or something, or a living, I would say, right? And especially to hear his story, to where a lot of even his teachers would say that he was mentally retarded.
Yep.
A lot of people say that he wasn't gonna be anything, or he wasn't worthy, or just where he comes from. His life, where he comes from, just told him that he wasn't supposed to be where he's at right now. So for me, it's always been a powerful story to hear his story. And not only that, I think at that moment he was the only Afro-American speaker.
Yeah.
And then I found out about Tim.
He's gonna kill me. What is this? Tim. Starts with an A, right? Can't think of his name.
I found out. Then then after him, I think TD Jake was the next one that started doing a lot of positive stuff. Then I started hearing from, what's his name? I think Eric the hip hop preacher was one of the last ones of big names that ended up coming out.
I found Eric Thomas on World Star Hip Hop.
Yes, I seen that too. It popped up on Instagram.
man.
Yeah. ET's amazing. But I seen so many other motivational speakers, and people like Scott Proctor ended up talking, and a lot of them but Les Brown's story always stick, because I felt like his story was relatable to where we come from. Then ET came in, and he started talking about where he came from, Michigan, and not being able to, he was on the streets, he was homeless, and to be able to make it to where he's at now, making X amount of money. I'm not trying to be in his pocket, right? But according to what I hear, every time he talks, he says, now I drive a Rolls Royce, and he doesn't idolize all that stuff, but he's like, it makes me feel good because I didn't have none of that. I didn't see that possible. I started going through emotion, and people started believing in what I was saying. He also said that moment that he was the thank God it's Monday. One day he was in the airport, and he started yelling, "Thank God it's Monday," and everybody started repeating what he was saying, and it just became a slogan. Same thing happened with DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled said that he was going broke, that he was bankrupt. He was getting evicted from his apartment, and he was doing music, but he was spending all his money on everything that he believed, right? And then he started posting stuff on Snapchat and started talking about, he says, they don't want me to win. They don't want me to this. They don't want me to this. Thank God this. He started talking to the people until one time I think he ended up going to LA, and he had such a big fan base waiting for him outside of the hotel. And that's when he noticed that people were actually watching.
Yeah.
And that's and I say this to say this, maybe, if you keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
that's gonna happen to you one day. People are gonna relate to what you're saying.
Right.
And that's one of the things that you tell me all the time.
Yeah.
When you're in my chair, he says, man, just turn on the camera and record. You tell me that all
Yeah.
the time.
All the
Because
time.
we don't know who's watching and how we can change somebody's life.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
And that
So
because you just got to start.
yeah.
That's where I'm at now. I've been on magazines. I've been on TV. I've been on, it's just been so much stuff that I've been able to speak in Africa, speak in all these places, travel and do these things, and turn around to have this mindset of, I want to win no matter what. But how do I win? I gotta go through the process, and that's getting up at 6. I don't gotta be an ET and get up at 3 in the morning. My 3 o'clock at 3 a.m. is 6. Everybody think, yo, I gotta do ET. I gotta be 3. No, your 3 a.m. may be 9 o'clock. It just may be, right? I thought I needed to be up at 3 because I wanted to be ET. Until I met ET, and ET was like, no, you need to be your own ET. I was like, what that mean? You need to get up at 6. Well, every time you need to get up, that's the time. Don't get up at 3. For me, what are you gonna do for the rest of the day? And I'm like, I don't know. What I tried it. It don't work. I'm tired. And so I created my 6 a.m. routine. I pray in the morning. Then I go get myself ready for the day, get my son and everything. I do that. That's my routine. But I did that consistently for the last 5+ years now. That's what I do every day. Still 7 in the morning, I'm sending out a video. 3 o'clock, maybe I'm sending out a video. 9 o'clock, I'm sending out a video. I have that where now it's because I put the work in where people's like, we see you. Why don't you come over here? I like what you're doing. But if I stop, they're never going to see me. Start saying stop. Start saying stop. No, you got to be consistent. People want the results right there, Nino. I want to be Nino right now. I don't have next year. I don't have 2 years from now. It took me 5 years to really get where ET is like, yo, man, I see you. Keep doing your thing. Hey, ET. Yo, man, take my number. All right, cool, man. Call me if you don't think it's me. ET, yo, what's up? Thought I was joking? Wow. People watching me. People watching. Keep going.
So how'd you end up getting his number, you said?
Because I kept pushing myself with videos and videos. And I kept
you were sending him to him?
I wasn't
or
sending it to him. Was not sending it to him. But people that's around him, I followed them. Some of them followed me back, surprisingly. And they see the content. And this is my belief. I could be wrong. But people was like, yo, man, you need to check this kid out. This kid this message that he just put out was dope. Never he never said, oh, Lemar said. But I think enough where it was like, yo, man, yo, ET, I just want to thank you for everything you do, man. I love it. Yo, what's up, L? That's an auto thing. He probably, hey, man, I've been watching you. Because when I met Quest Green, which is his right-hand man, that's the person that I connected with. Maybe that was him that said, yo, man, you need to check this kid out. This kid is really doing things. It's really positive out here. So now I'm able to, I never used it. I have his number. I never used hey, man, can you repost my video? I don't use that. I just got the number, And it led to not just E.T., Jeremy Anderson, Inky Johnson, Chris Crump,
Johnson,
BK.
amazing too.
These people is because I have put myself in front of doors that God say you belong there. See, the thing is, I just thought I'm in this room, I'm winning, it's comfortable, I know what I'm doing, I'm good. And God was like, you the elephant in the room. And I'm like, well, I'm comfortable here, God. I know this works. This is working. I know it's working. I can do this I can Steph Curry it. I can do it with my eyes closed. And God was like, that's the problem. You too comfortable. I need you to go into another room that you uncomfortable.
It happens to me a lot. That happens to me to where I'm around big beards. It's like, man, it's like because sometimes we come from prideful places too,
Mhm.
right? We come from not, and I wouldn't say my situation is like prideful. It's just a matter. Sometimes it's like, man, like sometimes you don't even want to approach somebody because you don't want to bother them, or you don't want to feel like
You'd be
uh,
surprised though.
uh
They'd be like, "Nah, I don't mind you bothering me."
yeah. But and it happens. It happens because it's like I got like friends that are doing very well, and sometimes I don't even bother them. And I hear from another guy that I spoke to. He's like, sometimes you got to use your resources to your advantage.
Yeah.
But we come from me growing up. My parents always told me, don't bother people, don't
Yeah.
this, don't that.
Yep.
So and I'm pretty sure you come from the
Yep.
same culture,
Yep.
and it's part of our culture. And sometimes we hold ourselves back to a certain point to where, and I think that's one of the things that I got to get better with is actually like connecting a little bit more. And I'm very outgoing. Like I obviously
Yeah.
you see me on a daily
Yeah.
basis. I talk to so many people who come in the
Yeah.
shop, but when you're in a different room, like you say,
Yeah.
you everything changes.
Yeah.
Like depending on the circle that you're at, it's like, whoa, I'm out of my element at that
Yeah.
moment.
And you question
And
yourself.
mind you, I spoke to in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
I'm on stage. I feel comfortable when I'm on stage. I get in the zone. I enjoy what I do. When I'm on the mic and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But then when it comes to situations like that, it's like, oh, like sometimes
Yeah.
it's like you don't want to have a stupid conversation. You want to have a relevant conversation.
Right.
And I'm a big person. I'm a big believer in asking the right questions to get the right answers.
Right.
But it's like sometimes, well, what if this person doesn't want to hear this question?
Yeah.
And it's a subconscious moment
Right.
of that moment that puts you in that situation. And I believe that I'm gonna get better with that. But how do you deal with that?
I deal with I honestly I would say last year was like I know I should be in that room. I know I should be with those people. I know I should be on that stage. I know I should be talking to those people. And I know in 2023, um, I let fear take over my entire year of stuff where I had so many opportunities, but I let fear because I was like, yo, what my wife gonna think?
Mm-hmm.
What this gonna do? Like, and then in 2023, December 31st, I said, God, I would never repeat this year. If you give me one more chance, I promise you, wherever you want me to be, I'm there. I'm not playing with this. I'm not playing with this. You gave me a gift, I'm using it. And so I started reaching out, knocking on doors, DMing people, emailing people. Wherever the chips lay, that's it. I don't care. I'm just you say no, cool. I'm not focused on the no because if you said no, there's someone else in the world that's gonna say yes. So you know what? 99 knows. What 99 knows? One yes. I'm cool with that. And that's what I did. I started putting myself in this place, and it was to a point where people was like, I had to start turning away people because it was just too much. And I said, God, whatever you got for me, I want it all. Come and get it. I want everything. Same attitude this year. I'm like, now it comes with requirements though,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I can't just be anyway. It's requirements. I can't just be here because this is who I want to be too. And I said, no, son, you got work to do. See, that's the problem with you, Lemar. You want to go there, but you still got unresolved issues here.
Here, yes.
So before we go there, let's take care here. I got it. And so I started putting myself, all right, do I really when ET told me, be your own ET, do I really want to be around ET like that? Be honest. I'm going to be honest. No disrespect to ET. I've said it to Carl. I thought I wanted to be around ET until I realized, I could become my own ET. And that's what I've been doing every day, every time. So to me, I see the consistency of if I don't do something, that's the day when someone's like, man, I needed a video. Man, I needed a quote.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
and he was talking about that the other day too on another episode that I heard him. He said there's too many people out there just mimicking, and it's okay to mimic, but mimic in your own way. Be yourself.
exactly.
You don't have to be ET, and that's exactly what he says. He
Yeah.
says on there, he was saying you don't have to be ET. You don't have to be Crow. be yourself, be valuable in your own way.
Yeah. And that's and here's the crazy thing. And no, and I said this to Quest when he told me that in 2004. Yeah, last year. Sorry. Um, I stopped listening to the podcast. I'm too busy focusing and doing the stuff that I need to do to jump on it. And no disrespect, I love that podcast. I love what he has done for me because he unlocked a lot of stuff in my marriage, my parenting,
Mm-hmm.
my speaking, everything. I owe a lot to him. But I realized that if I spend so much time there, I can't take care of everything here. So I'm like, okay. And so I think as even barbers, you, when you're not in the chair, you still gotta be you. And what do you look like? Because
Mm-hmm.
you can't just be the barber. Outside of that, you have to be someone else. And then where are you at as that person? Where are you at as a father, a husband, a boyfriend, a fiance, whatever it is? And I'm just not focusing just on men, I'm women as well. Who are you outside of your gift? Because my wife would tell you, she'll tell you straight up, who are you today? Lamar. No, 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 I don't need no motivation. What I need from you right now is to understand, why did you wash those clothes and leave them in the washer?
Big, how do you feel about that? How do you
you
feel
know,
about that?
and so, but then I can't go on a video and be like, yo, what's going on, world, and do all this positive stuff. And me and my relationship with my sons ain't good. I mean, my wife, we not good, but I want to give marriage advice. Fix your marriage first.
Yep. It's
Fix your
it's
parenting
so true.
first. So when to me, my wife had a deep conversation with me last year. You love basketball, right, Lamar? You Lakers. You in your mind, you still believe Kobe's alive. I'm like, yes. In my mind, there's some
Somebody.
spirits of Kobe, right? But we had a deep conversation. And she said, well, let me break this down to you. I need you to have more wins at home than away.
Oh,
Like, and that hit me.
this is your wife told you
My
that.
wife told me I
That's
need
deep.
more wins at home than away. I said, well, what do you mean by that? I'm out here killing the game. You understand? Like I'm girl. I'm on magazines. I'm on BET. I'm on radio. Girl. What is he talking about? And she
It's
said,
not
you don't
enough.
get it. Yo, like, you don't see how you and Aiden them? Well, I mean, he got a little attitude. I got a little attitude. But who's the father? I said, oh.
Hmm.
You got 3 boys. You're raising. She's like, don't you got a segment? What is it called? I'm like, building strong children while fixing broken men. So you go out there and you tell men how to be better men so their trauma don't affect their kids. But you and Aiden were going neck to neck the other night. So who's a hypocrite? I had to fix that. It hurt. It especially hurts when your wife tell you something, right? But for me to understand, like, take that criticism, Lamar, sit down, shut up, listen to her. Because God, it's not her talking to you, it's God talking to you. And when I said, okay, I asked Aiden, I said, Aiden, how can we make this relationship better? You know what he told me? There's sometimes that I don't need a dad, I need a friend. I said, oh, I never had that. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I got it. And so I build these relationships with my kids. And I'm still learning how to be, when to turn off the father mode, put on the friend mode, and it's helping, just like with my wife. My wife, I'm like, hold up, I don't need a husband right now. I need a friend. I don't need someone to tell me, well, you should do this, you should do that. No, I don't need that. I need you just to listen. Sometimes I know the answer. I just want to come to you just so I can just get the confirmation. It's
Mm-hmm.
like putting a new password in. Put the old one, new one, just in case, put another one. And I'm like, oh, I got it. Lamar, just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. And he's like, do you need me to? You want my opinion? That's what I do. That's how I do it. I swear, I probably tell her my secret right now. She watched this. She gonna be like, oh, that's what you do? I got you. I'll be like, you want my opinion based on it? And she be like, yeah. Oh, that's when I go in. Because we're men, we are always on active mode,
Mm-hmm.
right? Versus women's like, hold up, I just want to talk about that. And you sitting there, what that heifer say? Right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, he listening. He don't hear me. There's a difference. I hear you. I'm not listening to you. Because if I listen, I just took it in and I know what to do with it. But if I hear you, me and you arguing, I don't hear nothing you talking about. But if I'm really serious, me and you not seeing one eye to eye, you know something? I'm listening. So you telling me if I'm doing this, and this wrong? Yeah. Okay. So how do we get to the solution? Because we could talk about the problem all day. But how do we get to the solution? Because you not the problem, I'm not the problem. The problem is the problem. So how do we fix it? And once I figure that out, my wife and I promise you, my wife and I, they be like, I could not imagine y'all was separated for 3 years. And it's like, that's our testimony. That's
Mm-hmm.
our testimony. We want to show what marriage looked like, what parenting looked like. When your daughter comes and be like, that's my dad. And they feel it inside. You ain't gonna treat me anyway. Because my dad don't treat my mom anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't want no man knocking on my door talking about you raised this kid. No. I want a man knocking on my door. I want to shake your hand because you raised a good man. Raising
I think like that big more on my kids, on my boys. You know, I try to tell my boys on how they gotta be. They ever have a family, or they best believe to be a present person, right? Or not only as a husband, right? But if you get with somebody, that's your responsibility. That becomes your responsibility. Like the old ways, right? Nowadays we got a lot of kids that are just being kids, man. Like uh, I I started at an early age.
yeah.
Me and my wife been together for 21 years.
See?
So it's a very long time.
So I wouldn't go
Um,
to someone that been married for 6 months. I would
yeah.
go to 21.
So
These kids are
it's
going to be like, oh, you 6 months. Like, I don't think you should do that.
I know for the viewers, I just want to say it wasn't always perfect. It wasn't always roses, and we've had our ups and downs, and there's always been restarts because we have a big gap between kids.
Hmm.
I got a 7 year gap between my daughter and my youngest
Yeah,
boy.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So that changes a lot too. For when you're in a moment of comfortability where you feel like you have everything,
yeah,
and all of a sudden you have another kid, changes everything that you
yeah.
guys do. You guys ain't able to have those date nights like you used to because nobody wants to take care of the baby,
Right.
and you start losing yourself in the way. Like you said, us men, we're constantly always going, right. We're always thinking about what's our next move. We got bigger problems than just having to think about, oh, I need to cook, or I need to this. We a lot of us think about the men that
Yeah,
really care, right. I'm not
yeah,
saying that in every
yeah,
case is like that, but we care about providing. We care about trying to be the good husband, trying to be the good dad, and XO whatever,
right,
so on
right.
and so on. And it brings a lot of frustration to us, and it's easy to get carried away and just think about the wrong ways on why to give up on what you got going on, right? Because it happens. We've all
Right.
been there. We've been in that situation. But it takes more courage to actually step back in and be like, no, I have to fix this, and I'm not gonna run away from this problem because I can go somewhere else and have the same problem, and that problem is gonna keep on happening.
I would
Uh,
say you cannot take old bricks from an old house, bring it to a new place.
yes, sir. And that is the right.
I would say this just a piggyback. I would say, um, continue to adjust your seasons with your life partner in marriage, or even in a relationship. You're doing life with someone. Learn to continue to adjust because the same season your wife was in is now may not be the same season she in a couple months from now, or what she was when you first met. And that's love languages. It's like you can't be like, well, you used to do this. Well, I'm not there because we have kids. And
Mm-hmm,
what speaks like love to me is that when I come home from work, that the house is clean. That's my love language. That I
mm-hmm,
don't have to cook. You took it. Maybe you're not the best cook, but you tried.
mm-hmm,
That was me.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, but I'm not asking my wife what's her love language right now, because she be like, what? Back up. So I'm just observing.
I
I'm
think I
like,
had that conversation with my wife one time, and she was like, she didn't know what to say either. She was like,
nobody
I'm like,
knows.
so am I the only one that
Nobody
is asking this
knows.
question?
But you know how I recognize this, and I'm gonna say it for your way. I observe my wife's her patterns. What is she getting frustrated on? What can I do? Because someone told me I don't want to be in a relationship because the first 30 days is always the perfect day. Then after that, I'm crying and we breaking up. And I'm like, well, what if he's consistent? It's very hard for a man to really stay consistent. Well, if a man tries, you can't force him. So my mindset is, how can I keep pouring into my wife? Because I want to love the hell out of her. Excuse my language. I want to love her into a point where she's like, all right, my cup is overflowing. Now I need to give it somewhere else.
No. Being love is like, are you saying being cringy, like being all over her, or you trying to like give me a hug?
Get mommy and daddy.
Let's make sure. Let's make sure, because people be like, oh, this is a cringy dude. He wants me to be cringy.
No, I want you to remove the mindset of it's a gender role of I don't wash dishes. I got some people that's like that. Nah, yes, I don't do dishes.
I agree.
I'm like,
my culture is like that heavily. They're heavy on it. No, that I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to do laundry. No. I shouldn't have to cook. I shouldn't have to do dishes. That belongs to women. No, that's a lie. Because if you really if you have a certain expectation from your wife, they have a certain expectation from you.
I tell you this. There was one point that's what made me shift. My wife's. I was like, hey, kids are in bed. I'm like, oh, mommy and daddy time. I know you not. I am tired. I had to clean, cook, do the homework, do this. I'm like, and God was like, see, told you don't try it. Silly. You don't get it. You keep listening to this dude over here. He not the one.
Yeah, we gotta be careful who we listening to.
Right.
That's a big factor.
I've learned where I'm like, I'm watching my wife. Where's she tired at? Say, babe, you cook. We created it. You cook, I clean. I can't cook. Don't eat my food. I'm telling you, cereal, you might live. Steak, you're going to get high blood pressure, right? But my wife and I created a system like, okay, she's the cook, I'm the clean. Cool, right? Sundays, we got mind, body, and soul time from 6 to 7. While the kids are still up, we close the door and we have mind, body, and soul time. Where it's in my phone every Sunday, where we are just, what's going on with you? How you feeling? Where your mind's at? What's some players? What should we be doing? That's just us to communicate for that 1 hour. Not when the kids go to bed and we tired.
No, I know your wife she's a smart girl. You got a smart mouth sometimes, right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure she just sits down on the bench. She's like, what do you want me to tell you today? Like she looks at, there's nothing wrong with me.
No, now, but that was the beginning. But we've been doing it for the last 2 years, and now she has been able to open up and be like, well, I didn't like when you said this. I didn't like how this. And I'm able where I'm not screaming, because when you're at a 10, you can't really hear nobody. But when you're at a 2, it's like, okay, well, babe, I didn't like the fact that when you did this, that, and the third. Oh, then we talk about, well, everything is good with us. Well, what can we fix? If it's good, what needs to be fixed? Because I like good. We all like good, but what's better?
Mm-hmm.
And so we created that system. And we created where it's like date night. You mentioned it off camera, date night. Date night is so important. You cannot just stay, yo, I'm a barber, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm this and that, and I'm winning. And it's like, my wife said it. If you're going to take anything from this episode, take this. Stop trying to get all the wins from away games. Get more wins home. The home games, you win at home. I'm doing life with my wife. I'm not doing life around my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Today, to sit here with you today, I went to my wife and asked, are you okay with me going out to do this podcast? Why? Because that may affect...
Don't let your boys hear that. Man, you whipped, bro. You whipped.
The reason why
I can't be whipped. Man, you crazy. I ain't going to ask my girl that.
I'm whipped because I'm whipped towards a wife, not a girlfriend.
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
side piece. I'm
Yeah.
with because that's my wife, but because I know.
I just had to put it out there because I know
Yeah,
some of the
but
viewers
you
gonna
know,
be
it's
they're gonna be
always gonna be
hating.
somebody in
Yeah,
the
they're
comments,
like, man, this dude
right?
wants me to be want me to be soft.
Right. But you know why? Because me just getting up and leaving may cause her to be like, well, I had to do something. The kids, something happened. And something trickles down. Or I can just have the respect for my marriage and a person I'm doing life with and say, babe, I'm gonna go do this podcast. But she cool. She's cool with my lifestyle now. She understands. I know he got to do podcasts. He got to do interviews. He does all this stuff. And if it's not affecting us or the kids, who am I to bother him? He's doing good in the world. He's not saying, babe, I'm gonna rob this bank. You know? So to me, I truly believe if you really want to have a better mindset this year, if you really want to have a better relationship with your kids and your person you're doing life with, or just yourself, truly step back and look at what is working, what's not working. What's working? What's not working? And focus, like if 5 things is working in your life, focus on those 5 things, but work on the other 95 that's not. Because people will say, Nino, yo, 50% is her problems. 50% is my kids' problems. You're like, all right, well, that leaves the other 50 that you need to work on. Come on, Nino, I'm here for a haircut, man. I ain't here for this. Oh, you don't want the truth. You don't want the truth. People like, oh, well, Nino, you lie. Why can't you just tell the truth? Nino be like, so if I tell the truth, you get mad at it. If I lie, you get mad that I can't tell the truth.
So if I don't say something, you're asking me what's wrong. So either you do want to listen to what's wrong or you don't.
That's what it is, man.
That's a factor.
This is.
Man, put it up, Let the people hear you. What you say? No, they got to unmute it.
I said sometimes depends the mood that we're in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys hear it. She says that it all depends on the mood, right?
Yeah.
But nobody cares about our mood, right? What
Nah.
you know, that when our mood doesn't matter.
It don't matter until we blow up. It's like, well, you didn't say nothing. I was trying to. And
Yeah.
No, you gotta try hard enough. But
I wish we can get deeper into this conversation is going so well, but we're running out of time. We've been in for a little bit now, but it's like so much it has to be. I feel so good right now. I want to keep talking, but before we start cutting it off, let's talk about. I told the people you were an author. We have the book right there. Show the people. Look to the side. Show them.
Yep.
You know, Oliver's first day of first day. Tell us a little bit about Oliver's first day and you know what's the story about how this opportunity pop up, and where they can get that book.
First, Oliver, you can get the book on Amazon. Oliver's First Days on Amazon. It's on my website, LemarWilson.com. Oliver just came about my son having the fear to walk into school the first day. And I wanted to write a book where it could help everybody, not just preschoolers. If you think about it, taking your first step into owning your own business, taking your first step in being a father, a mother, taking your first step out of your comfort zone to say, I believe in you. I trust you. I trust enough that you would say, you know what? I'm going to take this first step. And if I fail, that's okay. Problem is that we don't leave room for failure anymore. You got to win. You got to win. And it's like, okay, you win. And then you fail and you're like, oh, that's it. I mean, how many Rocky movies he has to do to tell us that, I get knocked out, get back up.
Yeah.
And so this book is really to let people know you can walk into your fear and you're not going to put yourself in the oven. You're not going to die just because you started a business, you wrote a book, you went back to school. You're actually doing yourself a better justice by just saying, I did it. It didn't work. Okay, well, try this way. Okay. We don't want to do that. We want it. It got to work. That's why I say embrace failure. I'm failing every day, but I'm working on trying to fix the failure. I'm failing in my marriage, my parents, but I'm working towards it. It just looks like, oh man, I'm doing, Lamar's doing so good. And it's like, man, you don't get it. That's not. He has so much in him that he has yet to unlock. This is just the first part of it. The next book that's coming out is not a workbook. It's a workbook of mental health because
For kids also.
yeah.
Okay.
And I want to help teenagers, young adults. It's okay to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's some activities. Let's open up that dialogue because where we come from, it was taboo to say, you go to counseling? Oh, you hear marriage counseling today. You'd be like, yo, what's up with your marriage? Maybe we just need to talk about some stuff. We just need to fix some stuff because we just don't know how to communicate with each other that way. Marriage counseling can be a good thing. It don't have to be bad. And so Oliver's First Day is definitely a book I believe everybody should have because it's going to help you unlock your fear.
Awesome. And you said they can find it where?
Amazon. Amazon is on my website. I am LemarWilson.com.
It's a big deal, man. You guys dealing with a big shot. You know, having a book on Amazon and everything like that. Tell the people, you know, I know you did a certain amount of books and you sold a lot of books in 1 week of release.
Over 50 books in 1 week. And then I'm this book on Amazon, the first week it stayed at 33, ranked 33 in the United States.
That's awesome. Number 33 out of so many books that there is on.
Books,
and you got some heavy hitters, you know, a lot of people that, you know, some dope writers and some dope books on Amazon that to be number 33.
Number 33.
I congratulate you. The kid from Queens, New York, all the way to Florida. Before we leave, I know, like I said, we're wrapping it up. There's so much that was missed out, but I hope you give us the opportunity to come back again. And I want to give a shout out to Doa, right? To his wife. They gave him the opportunity to come out here on this platform, take some time. Obviously, you guys seen that he spoke to his wife. So shout out to your wife because I know she's gonna watch this. What would be an advice that you would give the viewers to take home? Something powerful that I want you to look at this camera and speak into the people's lives. Speak into some, give somebody a message that they might be able to take home. Obviously, you know, you're gonna have a lot of barbers that are gonna be watching this, which is my main crowd. But also, there's other people from the public and from other industries. So, what's one advice that you would give somebody out of everything that we spoke today?
I'll give you 3 quick ones. It would be character, consistent, and commitment. How consistent you are is going to determine your commitment, and how committed is going to
give me some passion. Give me some passion. I need some passion in there.
Your character, and the reason why I'm saying that is because your character determines everything about who people want to be around, where you want to be, and like I always say, if you can't create happiness, right? Don't look to find it because it's already with you. You just got to unlock it. And so those 3 key principles, your commitment, your consistent, your character is going to determine who you are. And that's me. You look at me like he got 3 commitments. That's me every day. Every time I wake up, every time my feet hit the floor. Who am I today? And so I'm asking you, who are you today? Because you matter. You matter. And if you don't think you matter, I promise you, just turn your phone off for 1 day. And the next day, turn it back on, see how many text messages, missed phone calls you got. You matter. Don't let nobody tell you anything different.
Awesome. You guys heard it from my man, Lemar. Like I said, barbers, anybody else in the other industry, who are you speaking to? What type of conversations are you having? I missed out on Lemar for a very long time because I wasn't having the right conversations. I missed out that he was a motivational speaker for so many years. You've been getting a haircut with me for now probably 4 years. 4 years, and at the first couple of years, I missed out until one of my coworkers, you know, one of my guys at the shop came and told me, "Hey, you know, have you seen his videos? His videos, you know, he's a motivational speaker." And I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? Like, he's in my chair. We never have these conversations." So, what type of conversations are you having with your clients? You never know who you have in your chair and who you're meeting that day. what type of conversations are you having with your barber, with your clients as a barber, right? Any other industry, hairstylist, what conversations are you having? Ask the right questions, get the right answers, had the right conversations, and you'll have what comes in comes out. All right. So learn from the ones that you have in your chair. You never know who you're going to meet. Brought to you guys today, Lemar Wilson. Thank you for coming out. And don't forget to subscribe, share this video, and hit the like button. Until next time, let's go.